Okay, hello again from RaySearch's RayHub, our dedicated in-booth space for learning and leading together. We're about to start our next session of the schedule, and this session is Affordable Healthcare Through Cutting-Edge Technology. We're really happy to be joined by BEBIG in this session, so you're going to be hearing from Reza Mohammadi, who is a product manager at BEBIG, and you will also hear from RaySearch. Laura Antonovic, Head of Strategic Partnerships, will be representing RaySearch in this session. So those of you who are here in the audience, if you have any questions during or after, feel free to shout them out or ask our presenters directly. But with that, I will hand over to Laura.
Yes. Hello, everyone. So come closer. We have an important topic to talk about here today. It's about access and affordability. So why is RaySearch talking about access and affordability, and why does our partnership with BEBIG matter to us? So I want to start by sharing RaySearch view on global access to radiotherapy and how it has evolved over time. So in our early days, and also now, of course, we have a strong focus on multi-vendor clinics in high-income markets, and a strong focus on advanced treatment techniques and efficient software and sophisticated optimization. So our focus has been in Europe, USA, and Japan. In my early years at RaySearch, I used to travel to CIS countries, so like Kazakhstan, Belarus, and Ukraine, in order to see if there are any business opportunities on these markets. But these efforts were turned down by our board because we mainly saw risks entering these markets based on different rankings of business, the possibility to make business. It's very difficult on these markets. But then the war in Ukraine changed that. We were approached by the Help Ukraine group, the physicists that I had met previously during my trips. And our CEO, Johan Löv, was deeply touched by their mission to have properly functioning radiotherapy treatment during war times. And we donated a set of licenses for them. And this made the rankings that we had paid attention to before irrelevant. And it changed our approach to supporting radiotherapy access globally, I would say. So since then, we have widened our lens. Access to radiotherapy globally is still unevenly distributed, and the industry needs a solution that is both high quality and affordable. So through our partnership with BEBIG, we can work towards that common goal. And we have already, through our relationship with BEBIG, installed RayPlan, a version of RayStation for these markets, in the Philippines and the Democratic Republic of Congo, which has the worst possible rankings you can ever imagine. So RaySearch is not only about cool software features anymore. Together with BEBIG, we are moving toward offering a complete usable clinical solution. So now in some parts of the world, the first question is simply, can we treat cancer at all? While in Europe, the situation is different. So radiotherapy is largely accessible, but many clinics face other challenges. So we have capacity constraints, staffing pressure, and budget limitations. And the question becomes just the same, just in another form. So how do we treat more patients without lowering the standards? So at RaySearch, we strongly believe that it is possible to maintain a high quality while moving toward more affordable solutions. And this is where the collaboration with BEBIG comes in. We think that European clinics need not only the most advanced system, but the right mix of systems in their clinics. And we are, together with BEBIG, building connectivity between their LINACs and RayCare. This will be the first step, and the next step will be online adaptive. But let's start with the topic of how BEBIG can make radiotherapy more affordable and accessible. And I'm happy to hand over to Reza Mohammadi, Product Manager at BEBIG Medical, who will show you how this can work in practice.
Yep.
Please.
So hello everyone, good morning. My name is Reza Mohammadi and I'm a product manager at BEBIG Medical. Basically I'm a medical physicist, so I've been working in a hospital as a medical physicist. And I joined the company more than 4 years, almost 4 years. And my passion also was at the beginning, especially when I worked with ESTRO and then I moved to the LINAC, to have also the accessibilities to some markets that they don't have any access to the LINACs. That's why I tried to use this opportunity to have also some solutions for some customers that they don't have any possibility to access to the LINAC. I mean, you will see some data. I mean, if you take a look at the WHO report, so in 2020 they reported that the new cases, it's 19.3 million, and those new cases is going to be a rise to 28 millions up to 2040. And these new cases, mainly the number of the rises are in Asia, Africa, and Latin America. Even the number of the cases are rising in the Europe because of the advance also the diagnosis. That doesn't mean that there is no treatment, but also when you have a better diagnosis, you can actually detect the cancers in earlier stages. That's why you need also to treat the patients. So in total, the number also is rising in the Europe and USA as well. But the main topic is, if you take a look at also the number of the LINACs, that's also the benchmark and the standard by the IAEA and also WHO, is normally it's a 5 to 8 LINACs per million. Then we call it also the benchmark. That means that they have access to the LINAC. In some countries or continents even, they don't have access to 1 LINAC per 5 millions. There are some countries that the number of the LINAC is 0. So there is no any LINAC in the country for treatment. So they just use the chemo maximum and nothing else. That comes to the question that, okay, what is the obstacles or the barrier that they don't have access? So everybody knows that there are different factors when you want to establish a radiotherapy department, but the first one or the second one, which are the major factors, is financial and also the maintenance and the running costs over the 1 decade. Because when you purchase a LINAC, it's just not one single purchasing. You wanted to maintain the device for over the years. It might be also the more than a decade. That's why you have a running cost as well. So the first question is about also, of course, a capital investment. That doesn't mean that the hospital doesn't want to invest. The hospital need to have a budget to invest. So the first question is, they wanted to purchase a device, and then they wanted to train the staff, and they have also the limited budget. And then, of course, they have to think about the running costs for the maintenances and repairment. It came to our mind that we wanted to have affordable solution. Affordable solution doesn't mean that we wanted to have a low quality. It means that we wanted to have a standard quality with also the better prices or the better solution, not always talking about the price, also the better solution for the customer. That came to our mind that we wanted to have also the LINAC, and then we started the collaboration with the RaySearch, which is well established also in the industry, that they have also the solution for the software, because the majority of the advanced technologies these days is based on the software, not the hardware, because the hardware is not changing every day because of the technology limitations. So the first question, as you saw it, that was also the capital. So the capital, we tried to not only reduce the cost, because we wanted to take a look at the whole LINAC portfolio for the 10 years. And the first question, the first topic is, we wanted to have a different strategy rather than other vendors, because that's the first question they ask you, okay, what is your position compared to the other vendors? The first position is about the service, because the service has an impact on your running costs, which is also the maintenance and also the repairment. What we are doing is also here to be distinguishable compared to also the vendors is, we train also the local service engineer. If you don't have, we hire a local service engineer and put in your hospitals, so he's there or she is there for 7 days per week, and also 24 hours. I mean, we can use it. And the other thing is, okay, you have a local service engineer. If I need to maintain the device, if I need to repair some components, what about the spare parts? That's another topic that we have a solutions. We wanted to put the spare part, full spare part package inside the country, especially for those countries that they don't have a LINAC. We wanted to put it into the country, no matter even if there is a one LINAC installed also in that country. So the full stack of spare part is available in the country. So they have spare parts, they have a local service engineer, and the next question would be, what about if they need support from the vendors as well? Because at the beginning, or maybe during the maintenance, you can solve with the local service engineer 80% of your problems or the troubleshootings. But of course, again, you need also the support from the vendors for some rare cases. That's why we support also the multi-years warranty. So when you have a customer has a multiple years warranty, it means they have a support also from the vendors, no matter cost is included. So you are, as a customer, you focus on your treatment rather than you should focus also the maintenances, the contracts, what we should do also regarding the contracts, is it included in the contracts or not? So when we support the multiple years warranty, it means that you have it depends on the number of the years. You have also the full support from the company. So you have a local service engineer, you have a spare parts. That allows you to reduce the running costs, maintenance and repairment. And the other topic is about installation, also supporting from especially some customers that they don't have experience with also the bunker. As I said, in some countries, in the Europe, majority of the hospitals that they already have a bunkers or they have experience with the bunkers, they can actually establish a bunker easily. But in some continent or the countries that even they don't know how to actually construct the bunker, or they don't know what are the requirements. That's why we support them also service-wise for the planning, and also for the architectural designing and planning, and electrical designing and planning. And then we support them also for the installations, for the training, and afterwards also, of course, for the commissioning. That's why we say it's full package. So it's everything is included. You don't need to, again, as a customer, think about it. It's our issue that we have to solve the solution. So we support you from the beginning, although also to the end. And then it comes to our solution. So for the LINAC wise, we have two major models, and we call it also SagiStar C and SagiStar E. So the C, we call it also the essential workhorse, because this is dedicated design for those customers that they wanted to have a standard treatment, but of course affordable. For them, it's mainly focus is affordable, but also the access to the standard treatment. That's why you can see it's a single energy. It has an epicity for the verification. It support also the theoretical format, IMRT, and the VMAT, which are right now standard or in majority of the countries. And of course, it gives you the affordability as well. But there are some other customers that they say, okay, I don't want it to have just affordable and a basic treatment. We wanted to have advanced treatment as well. That's why we have another platform, we call it E, which is more advanced also in our portfolio. It not only supports also dual energy, but also support multiple electrons, not only normal photon energy, but also support triple F energies, both 6 MV and 10 MV. It supports the advanced 2D, 3D, CBCT verifications, and also some advanced also the treatment techniques like SRS, SBRT, and the SGRT as well, because that's mainly the advanced technologies these days, or the advanced treatment modalities these days, that they are looking also for. And this is also mainly for those customers that they wanted to have a solution but more advanced. And the good point for the SagiStar E is allows you to start it with affordable, but you can upgrade it later step by step based on the budget construction that you have. This is a solution for those customers. They wanted to start it with at the beginning also the standard treatment, and then step by step they add also the features to the system. As Laura explained about it, so we have started to have collaboration with the RaySearch, as I mentioned, because we can streamline also the process, especially from treatment planning system and also radiation oncology information system as well, because we have also our own BEBIG interfaces. That interfaces it's well known also. If you take a look at it, as you can see in the right side, it doesn't change the workflow for the users. They're already used to it from the other vendors, and which is user friendly. We are using the same approach, and that's automated also a lot of process to reduce the learning curves, because the question would be, if I switch to the another vendors, what's going to be happen to the workflow? Majority of the customers these days, they are totally familiar also with the RaySearch because they already have it in the hospital. Or if it is a totally new hospital, that's the easiest way because we have to train them. And for those customers, they don't need to actually spend a lot of time for the BEBIG user interface to get familiar, especially for the RTT that they wanted to work on the device. The other thing that we proud actually to announce it, we already tried to announce it this year, that we say, okay, we have a CE mark, because that's a main topic. When you have also the regulatory, it allows you to actually go to the market, especially for the Europe. So we are thrilled to announce that we received the CE mark last December, just before the Christmas. That was also the gift for us. And this is not only to say we have a CE mark because of the regulatory wise. This is also the proof to say that, okay, we are actually following the quality, and also we are following the clinical efficiency, because the CE mark is based on the MDR, which is a new regulation in the Europe, which is so tough and also so restricted that you have to follow a lot of standards, which is latest standard, in order to show that your device is safe to be clinically used. So not only, as I said, is a regulatory wise, second one also is to prove of the quality. Another question would be, okay, why BEBIG? Because some people, the first question that they might ask, okay, we didn't know that there is a BEBIG also in the field, because we have started the company with the HDR brachytherapy more than 40 years ago. I mean, we have a long history for the HDR because we were the first company that we introduced the cobalt. I mean, nobody knows the cobalt with the HDR, even in the Europe, because they dominated by the other vendors with the iridium. It's okay, we have also the iridium solution. And then we try to step by step add also the solutions to our portfolio. That's why we are also the radiation therapy company. We added also the X-ray therapy. Then right now we add also the LINAC, because we wanted to have a comprehensive portfolio. And the other thing is, why BEBIG? I wanted to answer that, okay, because we have also the global infrastructure for the HDR, we wanted to use the same infrastructure also for the LINAC, because it allows us, in some countries we have our own subsidiary, not only the distributor, that we wanted to be direct there, because we know how we can actually do the maintenances and services. And the other thing, as I mentioned it, we have now a comprehensive portfolio. So comprehensive portfolio means we already have a LINAC, we have also the HDR, we have X-ray therapy for the auto voltage, we have our IORT solution, and we have also the accessories in our portfolio. This is what we call also the comprehensive portfolio, because majority of the demands of the customer can be overcome with this comprehensive portfolio. This is currently our solution. So regarding the more technical about our solution, the LINACs, not only LINACs, other products as well. I mean, I'm really happy to invite you to come to our booth, so you can ask the question not only from me, also our colleagues, about the technical details. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Reza. I think that very well explained how what measures you take to offer affordable solution, but that you don't compromise on quality.
Correct.
So I know that you have focused a lot on greenfield clinics in Africa, in Asia, South America. How about here in Europe? What type of clinics do you recommend to consider your LINACs?
Yeah, that's a good question, because especially in Europe, the majority of customers, they ask the same question. Because we are super active in Africa and Asia, but the question would be all about the Europe. Because Europe right now, majority of the governmental hospitals, they have also the budget from the governmental hospitals that they wanted to go with the highest advanced technology, right? But still there are some, in some countries like Eastern Europe and also the South Europe, there are some hospitals also specifically for the private hospitals, they have a budget limited issue. Even if they have a budget, they wanted to have, what about the service? As I mentioned, even if you have a budget, what about the service cost? Because the service cost is for 10 years. And at the beginning, for the budget, you don't consider how much budget do you need for the device itself. Also, you need to think about also for the 10 years for the service. That's why we try to distinguish ourselves. We say, okay, we have a solution, especially for the private hospitals, because the budget also for them is important. Not only the budget, but also the service and maintenance is important for them. So that's a good solution also, specifically for those private hospitals, because governmental hospitals, they have access to the high advanced technologies. It's okay. We don't want to bother them, it's totally fine for us. But for the other customers that they would like to have a different companies with a different service strategy, we are happy to actually invite it to them in our company.
Thank you. So maybe we have some questions from the audience. Anyone that is interested? Yeah?
Good morning. The system is compatible for the surface gating activity. For the surface gating activity, the system is compatible.
So SagiStar C doesn't have a gating, but the SagiStar E, as I mentioned, is advanced. It supports the SRS SBRT, we call it also the SRS SBRT package. And SRS SBRT package means we provide triple F energy, we provide the 60 couch, we provide the SGRT, our own SGRT solution. Currently, at this stage, we have our own SGRT solution. And the next question would be, what about the other vendors that they have a service-guided solutions? Currently, we're also working with them for developing also the interface to allow them to actually connect it to our system. But at the beginning, we have our own solution ready, available in order to give the customers.
Thank you.
Any other questions from the audience? Okay, so I have one more question. When people come and talk to you one-on-one in the booth, maybe people are too shy to ask the question in front of everyone, but what is the most common question that you get in the booth about your Linux or your offerings?
The highest frequent question is, okay, what is your position compared to the, I don't want to call the other vendor's name, but what about the other vendors? We don't say that, okay, we have a super fancy company for the LINAC. We just say we have a different approach for the services because we wanted to distinguish ourselves service-wise instead of the technical-wise. Because, as I said, LINAC is well-established technology. It's not 100% new technology, right? Majority of the treatments modalities are totally well-established. The next step is about the software. The next step about is service. That's why for the software-wise, we try to have a collaboration with RaySearch because we know, I mean, they're the best class also industry for the software because you can add more features based on the software. The second one was the service, as I tried to explain it here, in order to distinguish us rather than the other vendors.
Thank you. I think that was very exhaustive. Do we have any other questions? Otherwise, where is your booth? Where can people come and talk to you?
And that's the easiest way. We are actually standing here. I mean, just cross, I don't know, 10 meters, and the booth actually is there. So you can come over here, and we can actually discuss. We can give you more details about the options. What are the exactly details that we can provide to you?
And we can also demonstrate treatment planning for BEBIG's Linux here. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much.